Hello there everybody, it is Rosanna here, otherwise known as RozyGlow, and I wanted to make this little video for you to explain some of the key outcomes of my Fearless, Empowered and Free to Be Me program. Now, if you don't know about this program, it is essentially a rewiring of the motherboard, okay? It is a complete reprogramming of the subconscious inheritance that we each gain from our time in the womb and the first 7 years of life. The question is, how does all of that affect us now? So what I thought I would do is I'd go through some of the key shifts I see in people consistently who have been working through my program over the last 5 years. And it is really sweet to see, because obviously everybody does it individually, but you see the same outcomes again and again, and it literally is the gift that keeps on giving. So first one is clarity. Okay, this is something I've seen again and again. Now, often people who are attracted to this course are in ambiguous situations. They don't know what to do. Sometimes they are in abusive situations emotionally, and it is one of those that you can end up coming to the program not being sure whether you should leave your partner or not, or maybe you've been in a situation where your partner has actually left you, or you are seeking to attract love and you're not attracting it yet. So what happens here is you gain the clarity through the clearing of your subconscious conditioning to allow you to see how you're showing up in the relationship, and actually whether it is for the highest good of all for you to stick at it, or whether it's going to be important for you to accept that it's not part of your soul's path to continue anymore with it. And this also goes for how to prioritize your dreams, okay? Because ultimately, some of us are what I would call multi-passionate, and that means that we have lots of things we want to achieve in life, but we actually just don't know the order in which to achieve them. And because we've got all of these desires out there at the same time, what ends up happening is we cancel our desires out, because 1 minute we're focused on one and then we're focused on the other, and we actually don't have a direction and an order for the things that we want. And this is the clear, consistent strategy that is important. So when you get clear on what you want and why you want it, then you can get clear on the practical steps that you need to take to be able to achieve it. The next part is the harder work, okay? The first few bits we can do with our conscious mind alone. The rest of it is where the subconscious reprogramming is so essential. And this is what I support through my online coaching as people go through the digital aspects of the course. So there are 13 digital modules. So it's about, a couple of hours a week and then a couple of hours online with me. And basically what you're doing is you're going through a process that allows you to let go of the erroneous stuff that stops you from being able to get that clarity. So very, very important to have clarity, because what you focus on grows. And this allows you then to create the order for you to see that one desire is leading to the next. Second thing is courage. Okay, so I see that people who do the Fearless, Empowered and Free to Be Me course experience courage. They develop courage to go into their fears, to look at the things they don't want to see. Now, fearless means fearless, okay? It's not that you don't feel fear at all. It's that you don't allow your decisions to be motivated by fear anymore. And this is, again, about accepting a decision. It's about whether you change, whether you leave, whether you change, whether you accept. And of course, this is always going to involve you looking at yourself and understanding why you have attracted this situation in your life in the first place. Now, this actually leads me onto another point, which is people who come and do this course move out of victim consciousness. They stop needing a saviour. So often I see people who are attracted to spiritual work and to holistic work basically finding themselves looking for someone to save them rather than taking responsibility for themselves. So they put the responsibility in the hands of the universe. The universe is going to do this for me, or my angels are going to do this for me. No, they're there to support, encourage, guide, but you have to do the graft. You are the physical being that needs to make the changes in the physical world. And in order to do that, you need to feel empowered to make those changes. So when I talk about victim consciousness or saviour complex, or the need for a saviour, basically what we're talking about here is the idea that we are powerless and something outside of us is more powerful than us. This is why we feel fearful, because we feel there are powers outside of us that are bigger and scarier than we are. And yet when you accept that part of the path of being a conscious co-creator, which is what I teach people to do through this program, is to recognize that absolutely everything around you is a reflection of your own consciousness. So whether you enjoy someone's interaction or you don't enjoy it, they are an aspect of you, because we are all one. And how we respond to what comes to us will allow us then to make the choices that we need to make to align more fully with what we desire, or to not, and the unraveling happens. So I see people often who work with coaches or who are emotional buyers really looking for something to be their big fix, right? This is going to sort everything out for me. This is going to mean that I don't ever have to try again. It's that one shot that most of us are attracted to winning the lottery for the same reason. It's like, oh, I'll never have to work again. I'll never have to worry about money again. I'll never have to this again. Well, coaches support you to move into the spaces you're scared of going yourself, and they teach you how to do this systematically so you can do it for yourself and you are not reliant on them in the long term. Seeking to align with a vibration where you are the one that you have been searching for means that you can allow yourself to be both powerful and also able to interact with others and to enjoy independence, interdependence, and to a degree codependence as well, because these are all aspects of our being. There are times when we really do need others to help us, and that is okay, right? There are other times when we are the one who can step out and help, and that is okay too. What we learn through the program is to become aware of why we do the things we do and why we prevent ourselves having the very things we say we want. And this leads me to another key outcome of the program, is the healing of old wounds. So I see this particularly in relation to opening to love, and also in relation to physical changes. So often people come to me who have anxiety issues, and these issues will actually be something that goes further back in their family history. Like anxiety is a response to an overactive sympathetic nervous system. So I find as people actually go through the process of the emotional mental detox and then the physical clearing from the physical practices that we do through the program, they're then able to clear the cellular memory of the need to respond to life from an anxious and fearful mindset. And therefore, the experience of anxiousness actually leaves them. And this will then have an effect on their mood, and it will allow them to move out of the swinging forward and backward between overactive and underactive, overactive and underactive. So they start to notice their own needs. Now, when it comes to love, this is really exciting, because I've worked with people. I remember one particular lady who recently graduated who, even the idea of saying, I am open to meeting the needs of my beloved, just horrified her. She had not healed from a previous relationship. She was very shut down to love. So although she wanted love in her life, she also was very cynical about it and didn't really trust anyone to open up to the idea that anyone out there could be different to the being that she had had a relationship with. By the end of the course, this woman was basically starting to attract men in her life again, was getting excited about going on dates, was actually excited about having a relationship again. And not only that, she knew that she was going to attract into her life someone who was a vibrational match for her, and not someone who was going to bring out her shadow again, because she has been doing the inner work to allow the healing so that she doesn't need to attract heartache as a way of growing. And this is what I meant, that we don't actually need to only learn through suffering. We can learn through discernment. We can learn through what other people have gone through. When we trust that we don't need to understand everything with this mind in order to be able to have a shift in our lives, then really big leaps can occur. So one thing I see again and again is people open themselves up to love. They open themselves up to healthy love. They open themselves up to letting go of love that doesn't meet their needs, and actually to create the space of firstly being with themselves and enjoying being with themselves and learning what it means to practice unconditional love to self, which means you don't abandon, reject or betray yourself, and then moving into the space where they can really say yes to someone showing up the way they want them to show up, which is to show up and love them and for them to accept that love. Now, not only do we unblock the flow of love in our lives, we also unblock the flow to prosperity. So one of the consistent shifts I see with all of my clients on this program is they increase their wealth, their financial wealth, their prosperity. They increase their abundance mindset because they let go of the limitations and lack consciousness that they have inherited. We've all inherited it to a certain degree for lots of reasons that I go into in different videos, including the effect of world wars, including the effect of trauma that run through our cellular memory and our bloodlines, that we are here as awakening conscious beings that I call star seeds, awakening star seeds, to be able to bring to light and to clear so that future generations are not affected by it. Now, why does the prosperity increase? Why does the wealth increase? Well, you start to own your worth. You start to remember that you deserve to have the things that you desire, and you use the tools that I teach you to clear your resistance to actually having the things that you want. So you start feeling more open to taking risks. You start feeling more open to challenge the mindset that keeps you stuck in a place where resources are limited, where you actually can't have more money than your salary, or more money than your promised inheritance, or more money than whatever it is. And you also deal with your issues around having more money, because often we want something on the one hand, but we also have a lot of strong beliefs that antagonize what we want, that say we shouldn't want it, that it's bad to want it. And those are the inherited beliefs and the societal and cultural beliefs that undo the very things that we seek to create. So all of this is very, very powerful. If you think about what it says, it does what it says on the box: fearless, empowered, and free to be me. Now, you also strip yourself of the programmed self, so you get to know your essence. You get to know through the things that inspire and delight you who you really are. And that means the person that you thought you are, the personality that you thought you are, elements of it are connected to your essence. For example, I've always been outgoing and bubbly and friendly, but the way that I've gone about living my life is very different today to how it was before, because I'm much more aware of my intentions. I'm much more aware of my expectations. I have aligned with my higher self, and therefore I'm not needing the approval of others, and I'm not being motivated from a place where I'm fearing rejection, abandonment, or betrayal. So I'm not engaging in manipulative relationships with people. I'm aware there's always a subtext. I'm aware there's always a shadow to the things we desire, but I allow myself to focus on intending the highest good of all, on intending the win-win-win in everything, and on intending that whatever happens, I am willing to come fully into an acceptance of myself. And as I am able to do that, I am able to accept others. So this is what actually leads you to the final, very big, whammy, amazing point, which is you come to discover your soul purpose. Through the Fearless program, you let go of what you think you should do, and you start to actually get in touch with what you want to do, with what excites you, with what inspires you. I love making videos. I love teaching yoga. You know, what I was doing 10 years ago isn't what I do now, but I loved what I was doing 10 years ago just as much as I love what I do now, because your soul purpose is really for you to follow your passion. It's to follow the inclination to discover more, to journey through things that mean something to you, that you want to learn more about. And what we learn to do is we let go of the density of our programmed self, of our conditioning, of the sort of negative inheritance, if you like, is we start to decide to learn through thriving, through joy. We decide to follow our joy rather than our pain. But you have to be able to love up your pain in order for it not to have this compelling magnetic force for you to follow and to keep attracting painful situations in order for you to understand more about the pain that you have and why you have it. We get to a certain point with pain and then we want to move beyond it, and we are all at a place now where we can let go of pain as our guide, as our teacher. So aligning with your soul purpose is really something that comes from letting go of the falsehoods of who you actually think you are. In order to do it, you can't think your way through it. You can't read a book about it. All the yoga classes I ever went to before I decided to actually do the work that I do today were literally just chipping away the tiniest little bit at a time. It would have taken me lifetimes to get to where I am now if I hadn't chosen to do the really deep rewiring. And as my beloved actually reminded me, when you rewire a house, it's actually a very fiddly process that can take forever, and it looks like nothing much is happening on the surface, and much of it is hidden, and it's a lot of detective work and guesswork and using your logic to be able to work out how things need to go in order for them to work. When it comes to reprogramming your subconscious, again, there is a part of us that needs to unplug. We need to unplug from all that we have known and then to plug back in a way that is healthy. Every bit of the plugging back in is conscious until we are working in an optimal way and we can connect to our divine blueprint and we can start to download our soul consciousness into our physical body. So this is essentially what Fearless, Empowered and Free to Be Me does. You are able to join me and experience it either as a group coaching program, which I run a couple of times a year, or you can do it with me one-to-one. And it is what I call my divine blueprint activation. So it's the starting point of you recognizing yourself beyond the human conditioning as a soul existing within a physical being. We are eternal. Our souls are eternal. Our bodies are ancient. They carry codes, and our souls are attracted to the humans that we come to, that we come into the lives, the families that we do, in order to activate the soul lessons that we ourselves have elected to go through in this life in order to be able to evolve our soul beyond separation into unity consciousness. So this is really the path of the co-creator, where you learn that you are co-creating everything in your reality. You decide to own the miscreations, the things that aren't working for you. You decide also to let go of what you have inherited that no longer serves you. And the way I'd see this is it's called take the best and leave the rest of your inheritance. You can really shine forward and enjoy living a life that the better it gets, the better it gets. And you are a beacon for everybody else to aspire to. And you're not worried about whether they're jealous, whether they're envious, whether they're angry, because you know that in the end, you're giving them an opportunity through the work that you do, through your soul purpose, to channel those emotions, to deal with them, and then to bring healing and love to themselves. So we all lift each other up, and that is the beauty of this. So if you'd like to know more, follow the links below. It all starts with a breakthrough call. Remember, if you're interested in other things that I do, you can go onto my website and you can check out the Prosperity Challenge, the Star Salutation Prosperity Challenge, and also the daily prayers. These are freebies that I offer you just to help you get aligned with the RozyGlow vibration. And then you can join me also on YouTube for my new moon and full moon meditations, start to get a sense of how I work and what I pull together as a multidimensional coach. And then, of course, if that's all exciting you, breakthrough call, and that will then lead you to qualify. It's the pre-qualifying for the Fearless, Empowered and Free to Be Me program. Now, if you are seeking to have a baby, then you want to check out my Conceive with Ease program, because these are the two signature programs that I offer. One is to bring the star seeds to the earth. The other is to actually awaken the star seed consciousness within you. Okay, so I've made other videos about what it means to be a star seed, but this is my offering to you through everything that I have learned in my life so far, and I'm so grateful to share it with you. Thanks for taking the time to be with me. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit the subscribe button and also the notifications so you can know more of the videos that are coming out when they come out. Take care now. Namaste. So much love.